Radio recording. We're good.
Recording you.
I'm already tired too, Doug.
We can't say it's a long week, but well,
Oh, we can say it.
4 days into the week. Well, 4 days into the work week. 5 days into the calendar week. Only two. Now I'm yawning.
Next
Not
time,
your fault.
I was going to go and geocache with Limax if I made it to California,
Yeah.
but he just said that torture fascinates him. So I'm not sure I want to anymore.
Hmm. I see no monkey.
I see the monkey.
You have to shock the monkey.
Don't you know you got to
My
shock the
level
monkey?
is low.
See, it's not just me.
Well, does that make my level louder?
A little bit of my ears. How is it to the peanut gallery?
Yes, I hear my level is low. Is that? Oh wait, I'm turning the wrong one. Does that make my level louder? A bit. Okay. Well, we can try that.
I can't really hear Chris. So there's something wrong with your audio transmit level, is what I'm thinking here.
You know,
Nope, a smidge.
probably not good in the whole scheme of things.
One day. One day, maybe.
Okay, what about now? Anything better now?
I can hear myself echoing. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, well, I did that. Okay, is that less echoey?
Let's see. Yes, I don't hear myself now.
People say that sounds better.
Anytime I don't hear myself, it's a good thing.
Oh, okay. It's uncomfortably loud in my ear, but I'll deal with it for tonight.
Just wipe the blood up and you're good.
It's just one ear. I mean, really, how bad can it be?
Oh, you're still quiet according to
Quiet.
three hymns.
It was good for a moment. See, the Googles hate me.
Oh, so now it's the Google's fault.
Yes, it's all the Google's fault.
And here I've been blaming Daryl W4.
Yes. Okay, so what if I change my volume just a little bit to throw the Googles off?
I don't know. It says you're quiet again.
Well, that was previously. And now you need to speak. I'm going to speak into the mic. I'm going to do the entire show right here.
Do I have to do the show sub by myself again? I'll
Yes.
do it. I don't want to.
I know you will. Yeah, I know. Okay, we got to start the show because we're already on the YouTubes.
We're on the YouTubes, but we haven't played the music, so therefore the show's not officially started.
Yeah, I know, but we're 3 minutes in, and
We'll fix it in post.
this.
There is no post.
I'll just yell. It'll be okay.
Yeah. I'm an artillery.
Okay, ready?
No, but that never stopped us.
Okay, I'm going to play some music. Music too. Everything's just Even if you can't hear us, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. We're going to talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So, while you're binge watching that 1966 Batman TV series, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. It's time to bring in the monkey. Some say he's almost there, and others say they say he's spending time with his family. All we know, well, he's not up with us this evening.
That's right. But have no fear, citizens. We want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Limax, Team Squirrel, and WorldCaching.com. If you want to know more about supporting the show, head on over to cachingandw.com. Click that Patreon link right there on the website. Now, for tonight's show, we are going to talk about the Northwest Triad. Yes. But did you know? You probably didn't know unless you listened to the show and then you know that Caching in the Northwest has a badge to spruce up your geocaching.com profile page. Yes, submit a glow, or what we like to call the geocaching log of the week, and you can have a very own glow badge of your very own. That's very own of your very own,
That's right.
because you're the only one who will have that particular one. So, whether you wrote it or you read it, we want to hear about it, because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email to feedback@cachingnw.com, call into 253 693 TFTC, or, and, or you can use both. You could use all three. Use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow.
That's right. And tonight we've got a glow, and sounds like we've also got some audio issues. So I'll read it so you can hear me. How about that? Or I could just match a very low sound level and make you all turn your volume up really loud and then yell when you don't expect it.
Whisper.
If you want to get someone's attention, smack them in the head. Okay. This week's glow is from We Are Here. Well, I don't know if they sent it in, but the log is We Are Here found Shelrick's Center of the Triad Challenge. And the log reads, what a trip. Found our last 3 Delorme Challenge caches and now headed north on the east side of Mount St. Helens, heading for the Morton webcam cache. I love webcam caches. Notice we had this cache preloaded and we would be only about a 14-mile detour from our route. Started out 2 lanes for a short distance, then 1 lane still paved, and on and off paved and gravel, then 1 gravel only lane. Did I mention the huge straight drop off on one side? The last stretch had grass, green and wet, about 2 feet high in the middle. We finally reached the end of the road, the deadest dead end we had ever been to, and managed to park about 100 feet from ground zero. It was a very dark place. No one around for miles and miles. We did have lots of food, water, and sleeping gear with us. After all this, I was not going home until the log was signed. The info is on our stats page. Funny, no one has been here since September 2015. If grass in the middle of the road is dry, do not drive to cache. Engine will set the grass on fire. And they add in parentheses, not good, in case you needed to know that. That's tip number 1 from the finders. Tip number 2 is, if your spouse is not too much of a geocaching wife or husband, do not bring them. I was informed that this particular drive is grounds for divorce. And then he finishes the log and says, I'm tagging with a favorite. Don't tell my wife. Bottom line, got her done. Thanks for my fun, Shelrick, and not much hers.
Oh, that's kind of funny when you think about it. He went to the deadest dead end.
Yeah.
I do like how it went to 2-lane road, 1-lane road, and then, nothing. Hey, Hey.
Just responding. Go ahead.
Must be an echo. If you have a milestone cache, why don't you celebrate it with the entire NorthWest community? Call that in to 253 693 TFTC, or again, use that wonderful voicemail tool right there on the website. Now, our friends at worldcaching.com are so very generous. They are offering a Canada-themed trackable for our June and July contest. Now, in order to win this trackable, what you need to do, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I've set it up that everybody can enter. We want iTunes reviews, right? I'm going to give you 2 entries. That's two entries if you do an iTunes review. Now, I realize not everybody has an iTunes account. So if you don't have an iTunes account, call in to our telephone number. That's 253 693 TFTC and tell us your Canada Day plans.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll get 2 entries if you call in. If you send us an email and tell us your Canada Day plans, you'll still get 1 entry. What do you think about that?
So iTunes, 2 entries.
Yep.
Call in, 2 entries. email 1 entry. If they do all 3 of those, do they get 5 entries?
If they come up with 5 different stories or 3 different stories, yes.
Okay.
That was tough math in my head there. I shouldn't do that. Hey, by the way, if you use a different name on iTunes, let us know what that is so we can give you credit for your entry. Because, not everybody uses the same name everywhere. Now, if you listen to Caching in the Northwest on a regular basis, and, well, you should, then you know how much we like hashtag geocache road trips. We like them this much. There's one geocache road trip that just happened. I want to say it was in April. And this, maybe it was May. It's an epic road trip. 15 geocaches. That doesn't seem too bad, right?
Sounds good.
15 countries. That's a tough one to do.
I've never even been to 15 different countries.
22 hours and 25 minutes. They called it Geo Trip 17. Now, in 2011, a group of geocachers from the Netherlands set a geocaching record when they found 15 geocaches in 15 countries within 24 hours.
Wow.
6 years later, a group of 4 Finnish cachers were up to the challenge to break this record. They embarked on Geo Trip 17 on April 15th, 2017 from the Netherlands, just 1 second past midnight. They reached their final destination in Poland at 10:25 p.m. the same day. That's
Wow.
22 hours, 25 minutes later, setting a new record. Wow. It makes you want to think, I can do that, right? We could do that. Not here.
Yeah.
In the States. In that time, the group traveled 2,000 kilometers and found a geocache in Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Germany, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and Poland.
That's impressive.
Couldn't they say the old Roman Empire?
I don't know. I'm tired just listening to the story.
Although they were going for a speed record, the Geo Trip 17 team drove according to the speed limits and took their time finding each cache and to log them. To achieve this, they pre-selected low difficulty park and grab caches with backup caches because you always got to have a backup.
Always good to have a backup.
Yep.
Wow, that's truly an epic road trip. And I would be hard pressed to match that at all.
You think the Caching in the Northwest crew should try that this summer?
Maybe, but we might have to go for 15 different counties instead of countries. That might be more doable. Yeah, 1 letter. Who would notice?
Exactly.
Well, we've got another story here in the news from the Eugene Weekly. Proud member of the Northwest here, right?
Exactly.
An article called A Modern Treasure Hunt. I wonder what they could be talking about.
I don't know.
Probably pirates are involved if it's treasure, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
A map and yeah. Geocaching in downtown Eugene, the article reads. And the author writes, I'm in a church parking lot just north of 13th Avenue, Eugene, staring at my phone, circling around the lot, looking at a little dot on my screen and wondering why I can't find what I'm looking for.
She must have been listening to the U2 song.
Yeah. So far, this describes my outings. 2 of my nephews, ages 6 and 9, are wondering if what we're looking for might be the trash in the bushes. The 2-year-old has a can to play drums on and couldn't care less. I like it. He says, I'm getting frustrated, frankly, a little embarrassed, and I feel like one of the pokey zombies that stalked pretty much every city in the world last summer. You'll remember them if you used the bike path or ever wondered what the heck was going on outside of Bierstein in July and August. But our prize isn't a Charizard or Pikachu. The name for this treasure on the app is Get a Kick Out of Caching. And I'm willing to bet 1 listener of our podcast or more somewhere has found that very cache. The prize that we eventually find is a 3-inch long plastic foot with a screw top. It has a piece of paper some people sign and some put their own personal stamp on. Some people do stickers. People from as far away as Australia have left their mark on this little treasure hidden near downtown Eugene. So Travel Lane County has recognized the growing popularity of geocaching, and they've organized geocaching adventures throughout the county. Only one county, not 15. While the local tourism organization is scaling back from the more extensive geotours of the last few years, they are going to continue to offer 4 geocaching trails, which should be ready by the end of May. And as you're listening to this podcast, I'll guarantee it's past the end of May because, well, it's past the end of May as we're recording it. The trails in the article take tourists and locals on geocaching-inspired tours of the Mackenzie River Highway, Oak Ridge, and West Fir, the Territorial Highway, and Florence. No, not Italy, Oregon. And you know, Florence, Oregon knows what to do with a whale of a problem. The trails offer opportunities for people to visit and treasure hunt in parts of the county that they might not otherwise see.
There you
That
go.
was Florence, Oregon, wasn't it?
I think so. Well, they know what not to do.
That's right. The blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds. Google it, you'll find it.
Oh, such a good story. Not only the geo tour, but the whale of a problem.
That's right.
Hey, folks, we know you guys like to hike. And we're always telling you to hike safely. I want to tell you how to hike safely in snow. This comes from Washington Trails Association.
Are you telling our viewers to take a hike?
Take a hike in the
Okay.
snow. Springtime and early summer can be tempting time for hikers. The mountains may be calling. The high temperatures and sunny skies at the trailhead are no promise for perfect conditions higher up. Snow sticks around at high elevations, sometimes all year round. And no matter the season, it's important to be aware of the inherent dangers of hiking on snow. Make sure you leave an itinerary with your friends and family. Check the trail conditions before you head out and establish a turnaround time. While the summit may look attainable at lunch, crossing snow to get to it often takes longer than most people plan because of the obstacles and the less than ideal conditions. First, you deal with something called post-holing. Yes, spring weather makes snow less reliable. A trail over the snow that supported hikers last week may not hold your weight today. Snow melts out from the ground up and softens as the day progresses. If you're hiking on a trail like this and your leg punches through the thin crust of snow, you're post-holing. Aside from being an exhausting way to hike, post-holing could cause a scraped shin or twisted ankle. Avoid post-holing by traveling early in the day before the sun has warmed and softened the snow. Test the snow with your trekking poles. Travel in shady areas where the sun is less likely to warm the snow, or avoid the snow-covered route altogether. I think
Cache in Hawaii.
Flamethrower might take care of it, right? Snow bridges form over creeks, crevasses, and other openings in the terrain. While these often look stable, they can give out without warning, and hikers can plunge into icy waters or a crevasse. Avoid crossing snow bridges whenever possible, but if you must cross a snow bridge, test it for stability before starting across. The best way is to send somebody out ahead of you.
Yeah, somebody you're not afraid to lose.
But remember, never have more than one person on the snow bridge at a time.
Okay.
Yes, Freeham says the best way to avoid post-holing is to have snowshoes.
That's a good way. I don't know if it's the best way. I think the best way is to lie on a beach in Hawaii.
Yes. Yeah, usually not a lot of snow there.
Not a lot.
As snow gathers around the base of a tree, the tree branches and snow form a depression that can be quite deep. Because the snow is loose, a person who falls into one of these can be completely buried. Typically, it's more of a concern for winter travel, but hikers should be aware of these and avoid approaching trees where there's snow still around them. It's called a tree well, by the way. And one of the most interesting things to do, once you've attained the summit, it can be very tempting to whiz back down the mountain on your backside. But without proper equipment and know-how, glissading, right? Glissading?
As far as I know, yeah.
Sorry. I questioned how to say it because I throw in the French accent and now it's in my head and I don't know if it's ever right.
You didn't swallow half your words. It wasn't a true French accent.
Glissading. Yeah. Glissading can be a dangerous endeavor. Trees and rocks sticking out from the snow can cause injuries, and an uncontrolled slide doesn't always end where you want it to. So think twice before you make the slide. That's your public service announcement.
Okay. Some great ways to stay safe when hiking in spring and summer after a heavy snow.
That's right. Now, we say all this to say, don't forget about the hike to Monte Cristo,
Hmm.
caching in the NorthWest crew, July 29th.
Will we be post-holing, tree welling, or glissading?
I'm going
Probably
to
not.
no, no, and no.
Yeah, probably not in late July. At least I hope not.
Exactly. In August, if we're dealing with snow on that,
July,
what did I say?
August.
It's nearly August.
I know July 29th is kind of early August, but it's like August Eve.
It's very, very early August.
Yeah.
Pre-August.
Yeah. When it's July 29th here, it's already August in Australia.
Okay.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, we shouldn't be dealing with snow. I want to say in that not so high elevation, but I don't remember what
We should be fine.
snow is. Yes. Okay, that's enough about that.
Let's talk about something else then.
Oh, okay. Wasn't going to.
Or just sign off. No, we won't sign off.
Oh, that was it. Good night, folks.
Okay.
No, of course not. Hey, this show, we want to talk about the Triad. Now, you know about the NorthWest Triad, and we're not talking about some oddly named mafia. No, we're talking about the Ape Cache, the geocaching headquarter cache, and of course, the original stash plaque. Now, we just talked about those in the last couple of months. We've covered all three of these, right?
Absolutely.
The Ape Cache, we talked about episode 190. Geocaching headquarters, we talked with the gal there who welcomes everyone in episode 192. And the original stash plaque, we just talked about last week, episode 202.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you map out these three caches, they form a very large triangle. Did you know?
I did.
Yeah.
3 points make 3 non-collinear points makes a triangle.
Ooh, very
Also
good.
defines a plane.
The distance between the Ape Cache and Geocaching HQ is it's about 61 miles. It's a simple hour-and-a-half drive. And then between Geocaching HQ and the original stash plaque, well, that's about 200 miles. It's about a 3.5-hour drive. So this is very doable in a day to get all three. But right in the middle of this giant triangle is none other than the center of the Triad Challenge. That's GC. I've covered up my letters. 1 Whiskey Yankee Hotel Nevada, November.
Do you have to find it in November? And it's not in Nevada.
That's why I said Nevada. It's Nevada, not Nevada, according to people who are there.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have.
I don't spend much time in Nevada, so I don't know.
Ooh, you Evada?
Nevada. At any rate,
I reached out to the CO of this particular cache, the Central Triad Challenge, and asked them, give me a little information about this. And here's what they came back with.
All right, and that's the what the glow was from tonight too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I want to say one thing. You mentioned this was the NorthWest Triad. Really, it is the Triad, the geocaching Triad. I don't think you have to say Northwest except for caching in the Northwest, because of course, this is where geocaching started, right here in the Northwest.
Where is the Triad?
Right here.
In the Northwest.
Yes.
So it's the Northwest Triad.
Yeah, well, but it's redundant to say that.
Can we say the Northwest Space Needle?
It's the reference from the Department of Redundancy Department.
I know. I just threw it in there, okay?
Okay. So anyway, you did contact the CO, and he was on a epic #geocache road trip, as I recall from your notes.
So jealous.
He wrote back and said, "Hello from Alabama." Not in the Northwest, by the way. Next stop, Louisiana. And we are now in the Central Time Zone and heading back home to the Pacific Northwest. He said, my wife and I came up with the idea for the Center of the Triad Challenge in 2008 after talking with a fellow cacher about the trifecta. That's how I've referred to it, or heard it referred to. Trifecta as, being Groundspeak, Commission 9 Tunnel of Light Ape Cache, and the original stash. We thought, what kind of challenge could we come up with involving these three caches? Shelley, the shell part of Shellrick, came up with the idea of drawing a line to each one of the three caches, which happened to make an almost perfect triangle. Then Eric, the Rick part of Shellrick, did some fancy math work and figured out the exact center. Unfortunately, the center involved a 5-mile hike in from one direction, or a 3.5-mile hike in from another, then 1.5 miles of serious bushwhacking. That sounds just like an urban cache involving Curse of the Northwest. However, we wanted everyone who completed the requirements to be able to get to it, so we found a beautiful location with incredible views of Mount St. Helens, and the blowout zone as close to the center as possible. As you can see from our write-up, we gave a fairly detailed description on how to get there. There are several ways to get there. A forest map might be handy. It will take a while to get there from Morton, so be prepared. Have plenty of gas and water, extra batteries for your GPS, a spare tire with air, they note, maybe some food. Oh, yes, and possibly a signal flare just in case you get lost. LOL.
That's good for any geocache that you go on, even urban geocaches with me.
Yeah. I often take food, and I often carry gas.
And I've got a spare tire.
There you go. We're set.
Not even on the car.
The cache location is not too hard to get to depending on the time of year. However, there's a narrow window between late spring, when the snow melts, and some detours in August or September when certain roads are closed due to fire season, and then the snow returns in October. So perhaps in some of the springtime there, we might worry about post-holing or one of those kind of things.
Ooh.
He adds that most people have no problem getting there with most types of vehicles. However, we would recommend something with at least a little bit of clearance. So a bicycle. Mm-hmm. My bicycle's got great ground clearance. We had someone make it up there in a small motorhome once, and I noticed in the chat room they talked about the 4 items there. What do you say? The Center of the Triad in a Ape GCHQ stash and a Winnebago.
Yeah, they mentioned a Winnebago.
Well, he said that most people, he's had somebody make it up there in a small motorhome. Exactly. I don't have record here to show whether that small motorhome was a Winnebago brand or not, but hey.
Let's say it was.
Okay. So they made it in Winnebago once, and even had someone snowshoe there from a locked gate a few miles away. And we're pretty sure they didn't post hole on those snowshoes.
Exactly.
But when we placed the cache, you could park just a few feet away.
Interesting. Didn't have to snowshoe for miles.
No. But you could. If you wear snowshoes and there's no snow, are they still snowshoes?
Just shoes.
Okay. The difficulty, he said, will vary depending on weather. So we have depending on time of year and depending on weather, and I think those kind of go hand in hand. Also depends on current road conditions and the occasional landslide. No problem there. That's just like my commute home. It varies on current road conditions and the occasional landslide. He adds they've never had to maintain the cache since they put it up there 8 years ago. So I'm sure the landscape has changed a bit since we've been there last. We plan on taking a trip up there soon just to check on things. And that's a good thing to do. Mm-hmm. He thought it was a cool coincidence that Groundspeak has a Triad geocoin with a hole in the middle of it. We like to think that this is our center of the Triad and would love to have a geocoin made someday that would fit into that hole with its own special icon, since most people who complete the challenge purchase the coin and consider the hole to represent the Triad challenge. He signs off by saying, "Happy caching from Shellrick," also known as Shelley and Eric. And the postscript reads, "We also own the number 8 most favorite cache in Oregon, Shellrick's Happy Cache Inn, and the Oregon Jasmer." And Eric runs a Facebook group, Portland Geocaching. You can check it out at facebook.com/group/79816335360. Just rolls right off the tongue.
Or it'll be in the show notes. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but what fun is that?
Exactly. So there you go. The Triad are those 3 caches. And then there's that center of the Triad challenge. Geocaching, world caching, I know Cache Advance, they all sell the Triad geocoin, a very nice looking triangle shaped geocoin. Oddly enough, Triad triangle, who knew? But I didn't realize it had a hole in the middle of it. So I thought that was kind of nice.
I've got a hole in my pocket.
Maybe it's from triangle shaped coins.
It could be.
Yeah. A hole in your pocket.
I think I'm going to have to go check out this Triad.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll meet you at the car.
Okay.
Oh, not right now?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's finish this first.
Okay.
I didn't even see how far it is from us. It can't be all that far, right? It's not as far as Portland.
Well, no, because then you'd be closer to the original stash. So.
But yeah, that's one of those that are kind of on my bucket list. Much like the geocache that's on top of the tunnel of light. That's one we did last year. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one you could have driven your car to.
Yes.
But you'd have had a hard time driving the car back out.
Well, yes, somebody did drive their pickup right to it. And while we were there, they had a dandy of a time getting it back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we made it up in my little rice burner with no ground clearance, but I wasn't going all the way down that final road.
No, and we're talking just a couple hundred yards.
Yeah.
Bryling says he drove to that cache last year.
Nice. The one on top of the tunnel, yes.
Top of the tunnel, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the one on top of the tunnel.
Yes, with the proper vehicle, it wouldn't be that difficult. I did not have the proper vehicle.
No. Well, you had a vehicle that got us close enough.
That's right.
Let us know, hashtag FATAS, if you've done the Triad Challenge, the center of the Triad Challenge. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment.
All right. Tracy from World Caching adds, to give credit where it's due, the coin is designed by land sharks.
Ooh. I like those land sharks, people.
And you mentioned both World Caching and the Cache Cave. They're both in the chat tonight.
Yes. I believe Lisa from Cache Advance had to leave.
Oh, okay. Well, she was in the cache. Oh, yes. She says goodnight.
So.
I was busy reading about something.
No problem. So, Wits End, since it's just you and I.
It is just us.
We're monkey free. And, well, I'm not going to say we're happy, but,
No.
Where can our listeners find you? Perhaps they don't want to wait until we get back together next week. They want to know more about Wits End right now.
Well, there are close to 200 episodes of this show that they could go back and find. I'm on most of them. Because occasionally I've had family obligations as well, which is where Land Monkey is tonight with his family, and we wish them well.
We really.
But look around social media for Wits End, and you'll probably find me most likely on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. And you, sir?
Well, I'm on Twitter and Facebook as well. Just look for Caching NW. You know what? Better yet, head on over to cachingnw.com/hosts. There you can click all the links because, who wants to type anymore? And read all the bios and do all the things.
That's right. So check it out. We look forward to hearing from you. But until next time, we want to thank you. Yes, you. For taking the time to listen to this episode where one of us you could hear and one of us you had trouble with of Caching in the Northwest. You can be part of the show, and maybe we can hear you. We can hear you if you call and leave a message at 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or pretend to be the Batman any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com, and Your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. This show is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2017 by Chris Umfenauer. I'm Batman. The after show. I'm Batman.
Okay. We all know that Adam West passed away this week.
Yes.
Yesterday, day before. Anyway.
I don't know. God picked up the big red phone in the sky and called him.
That's right. There was a scene from The Big Bang Theory when Adam West was on the show, and they're all in the car talking about, which actors in which order were the best Batman. And Howard says, "Wait a minute, you put I can't remember in front. It was Christian Bale who actually invented the line, 'I'm Batman.'" And Adam West says, "I didn't need to tell them I was Batman. I walked in the room and people knew I'm Batman."
So, in related Batman news, I saw today that in Los Angeles tonight, in honor of Adam West, played Batman, they were lighting the bat signal in front of the Los Angeles City Hall.
They have a bat signal?
Well, every major metropolis does. I always saw it on TV. So,
well, of course they do. Wow.
Yeah.
Why would I doubt it?
I thought that was a nice touch. And judging from the photos on social media, there's quite a crowd there. No word on whether Commissioner Gordon was present to throw the switch, but
true. Limax says Adam West never had to say, "I'm Batman."
That's right.
So, okay.
So that's what it feels like.
What does it feel like?
I don't know.
Here, we can throw this in.
I only work in black and sometimes very, very dark gray.
That's right.
There you go. Okay, so we talked about the cache on top of the tunnel of Mission 9 Tunnel of Light. And Breiling drove there. This is a little, what do you say?
Very little room to turn around there.
Yes, very little to turn around at GC. My short little Ford Escape was about the largest I would recommend going down there.
Yeah. The guy that we saw drive down there was in a large full-size pickup truck.
Drove down. I mean, got out, found the cache, but had to back up.
Yeah, and the back end of a pickup truck is very lightweight with little traction, so he had trouble back up. And I don't think he was pleased that the rear tires were throwing rocks all over his pretty paint job.
I want to say it was a brand new truck.
Yeah, it was pretty close to it. It looked really nice.
And might have gotten some scrapes on the branches going down. Anyway, yeah, the Limax says to Tracy from World Caching, "I'll meet you there in a Winnebago."
There you go.
So, yeah, it's not that far. It's not that far to park at what is this? Breiling says park at the top at GC 3 Tango 3 Yankee X-ray.
Very good.
And hike down.
Yeah, there's a little building there that's kind of a skier hut, emergency shelter kind of thing. And we parked right next to it and didn't bother to check that there was a cache there.
I was so taken by the little hut, I never thought to look at the GPS to see if there was a geocache there.
So if we could hitch a ride in Limax's Winnebago,
yeah,
we'll go back and do that.
We'll get that cache at top, watch you guys and come back up. Limax just bought the Lego Batman movie today.
Well, there you go.
On Tuesday.
Is it awesome? Because everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. The Lego Batman movie. Sorry, I just heard a buzz in my ear. And now I'm really paranoid about any odd sound. The Lego Batman movie has some very funny pop culture references in it. Okay, let's see. So it doesn't look like we have lots of West Coast pinstriping, says Tracy from World. Yes, that's what you call it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like anybody's done the center of the Triad challenge.
Hmm. Well, if I do it, I'm going to call in the 253-693-TFTC and tell you all about it.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, I have to tell you about there was another podcast I was on earlier today. I know. Surprise, right? I wasn't on much of it.
You have to do with knitting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It was crocheting in the Northwest.
Got it. CNW.
Yeah. Everything's CNW. No, it was with Gary Slinkard. He's written the book 201 Caches to Find Before You Die.
Hmm.
And one of them is in Bellingham. It's the Geo Post Office and TB Transfer Station.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, oh, I hadn't heard of that one. He goes, have you found it? It's in your neck of the no. It's what is it? It's 100 miles north of me. So, that is a bit of a trip.
A little bit.
It's got 194 favorite points
Wow.
on 329 finds. So I here
Brightling says it's awesome.
Breiling's found it. Yes, but Breitling, it's not 100 miles north of you. Here, I'm sorry, I can't do two things at a time because I'm a guy. There you go. There's the GC code in the chat.
Okay.
And now I have to put it in the show notes because, well, that's the way things work. There. And
Well done.
I said, well, we're going up to Canada soon. Stop by. It's right off of I-5. So. There's another great Northwest cache that I didn't know was there. Of course, you've been there a few times, Breiling. Rub it in. Just joking.
Yeah. I've been to Bellingham. I've even. Oh, and I'm scrolling through the 51 images in the gallery. And I come across an image of a chalkboard and a sign that says Three Hams, Vancouver. I wonder if there's any relation to a rose.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh. Breiling wants to know if Monte Cristo is it the cooking show? See, if you use Monte Cristo, you can glissade down any hill.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you also just spray that stuff on there that Clark Griswold had on his snow saucer?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Well, not really. That was a prototype nonstick cooking spray. GeoNav Pro says 3 Hams married to the rose.
He married up.
I thought 3 Hams was in the chat. Apparently not.
He has been.
Just laying low now that we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Anything else to talk about in the after show? Any hashtag FATAS?
I think we're good. It's a low-key show tonight.
Seems to be.
And a low-volume show, too.
Am I still low volume?
Yeah, you're okay to me at the moment, but I don't know if it's better or not.
I feel like I'm talking quite loudly.
You sound normal to me.
Louder than I normally do.
You sound normal to me, and my level's a little higher than normal, so I don't know.
I don't know. We'll get this worked out.
Yep.
Eventually, we're going to have a good sounding show.
Okay.
I trust Dora more. She says I'm low.
Yeah. Well,
feeling mighty low.
The lane monkey's not here, so guess who gets the blame?
3 Hams.
Okay.
Yep. That's who I would blame.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, folks. And the exit music was also low volume.
Yeah, pretty much all the audio coming from your studio tonight was low.
And, I've turned up the volume and they go, oh, yeah, it's loud. And then it gets crushed again. So I think it's the Googles. but I think I need to replace some audio gear here. I think I've got issues. So we will get that taken care of, and we will produce another great podcast next week for you guys. And I can tell you the audio I'm recording seems like great volume. So we'll see what happens.
There you go.
And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.
All right, folks.
Good night.